Imagine for a second that you are trying to put out a fire in your kitchen, but instead of water, you accidentally grab a bucket of gasoline. That is exactly what millions of adults over the age of 60 are doing to their kidneys every single morning. You wake up, you want to be healthy, you want to stay independent, so you pop that multivitamin or that high-dose supplement. You think you are extending your life, but biologically, you might be accelerating a silent, microscopic destruction inside your renal system. There is a terrifying paradox in modern medicine that nobody talks about until it is too late. The very nutrients that save your life at 40 can become toxic debris that clogs your filters at 60. And here is the scary part. Your doctor probably won't catch this until your GFR, your filtration rate, has dropped dangerously low. But why is this happening now? Why didn't this matter 10 years ago? It comes down to a biological cliff that every single human being walks off of eventually. But do not panic. By the end of this video, I am going to hand you a specific biological key, a rule of thumb that nephrologists know but rarely explain simply, that will allow you to take supplements safely without turning your bloodstream into a toxic waste dump. But first, we have to look at the crime scene. We have to understand the betrayal happening inside your body. Here is the truth that supplement companies are terrified you will learn. Your kidneys are not just filters. They are the bouncers at the club of your bloodstream. They decide who stays and who gets kicked out through urine. When you are 30, those bouncers are strong. They can handle a rowdy crowd. If you take 5,000% of the daily value of a vitamin, your young kidneys just flush it out. No harm, no foul. But after 60, those bouncers get tired. We lose nephrons, the tiny filtering units, every single year. It is a natural part of aging, called renal senescence. But here is where most people fail to connect the dots. When the filter slows down, things that used to pass through start to get stuck. And when vitamins get stuck, they don't just sit there. They react, they crystallize, they calcify, they turn from nutrients into toxins. Today, we are exposing 4 specific offenders. These aren't obscure chemicals. These are in your cabinet right now. And the first one is perhaps the most shocking because the world has convinced you it is the ultimate cure-all. Let's rip the mask off vitamin C. You have been told your whole life that vitamin C is harmless. It's water-soluble, they say. You just pee out what you don't need. That is a dangerous half-truth. Yes, vitamin C is water-soluble, but in a body over 60, the conversion process changes the game entirely. When you ingest high doses of ascorbic acid, we are talking about those 1,000 millirist immunity boosters. Your body metabolizes it into something called oxalate. Now, in a young, hydrated body, oxalate exits the system quietly. But in an older kidney, especially one that is slightly dehydrated or has a reduced GFR, that oxalate looks for a dance partner. And its favorite partner is calcium. When oxalate meets calcium in your kidney tubules, they bind together to form calcium oxalate crystals. These aren't just microscopic dust. They are jagged, sharp stones. But the pain of passing a kidney stone isn't even the worst part. The real horror is something called oxalate nephropathy. This is where these tiny crystals don't form a big stone, but instead embed themselves into the kidney tissue itself. Imagine throwing sand into the gears of a delicate watch. The gears grind, they heat up, and eventually they seize. We see patients who were perfectly stable, they start pounding high-dose vitamin C to fight a flu, and 6 weeks later, they are in acute kidney injury. They didn't die from the flu, they are losing their kidneys because of the cure. And this is where the industry marketing tricks you. They sell 1,000 millirem, 2,000 millirem capsules as super immunity. But your body can only absorb about 200 millirem to 400 millirem at a time. The rest? It's pure stress on your filtration system. You are literally paying money to force your aging kidneys to work overtime. But if you think kidney stones are painful, the next vitamin on our list does something even more sinister. It doesn't just create stones, it turns your soft, flexible blood vessels into solid rock. We need to have a serious, uncomfortable conversation about vitamin D. This is the darling of the supplement world right now. Every doctor, every blog, every neighbor is telling you to take more vitamin D. And yes, deficiency is bad. Deficiency causes weak bones. But the pendulum has swung too far in the other direction, and for seniors, this overdose is catastrophic. Here is the mechanism nobody explains. Vitamin D is like a gatekeeper that opens the door for calcium to enter your bloodstream from your gut. That sounds great, right? You want calcium for your bones. But there is a catch. If you flood a 65-year-old body with massive doses of vitamin D, 5,000 or 10,000 IUs daily, without monitoring, you rip the doors off the hinges. Calcium floods into the blood. This condition is called hypercalcemia. Now, here is the mystery loop. If your bones are already resistant to absorbing that calcium because of age or hormonal changes, where does that extra calcium go? It doesn't just disappear. It starts looking for a place to settle. It settles in your heart valves. It settles in the walls of your arteries. It settles in the delicate tissues of your kidneys. This is called metastatic calcification. You are essentially slowly turning your soft tissues into bone. We have seen cases where older adults trying to prevent osteoporosis end up with kidney failure because the calcium deposits clogged the very filters meant to keep them clean. It is a tragic irony. You are taking the pill to stay strong, but you are stiffening your vascular system, forcing your heart to pump against rock-hard arteries and starving your kidneys of the blood flow they need to survive. But wait, it gets even more complicated. The risk isn't just the vitamin D itself, it is taking it alone. In nature, you never get vitamin D without a balance of other nutrients. In a pill, it is an isolated chemical bomb. If you do not have enough vitamin K2 to direct that calcium into the bone, the vitamin D just dumps the calcium into your arteries. It's like delivering bricks to a construction site, but forgetting to hire the bricklayers. The bricks just pile up in the street and stop traffic. That traffic jam is what kills kidney function. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I'll just stick to the vitamins that are good for my eyes and skin. And that brings us to the third silent killer. This one is deceptive because it builds up in the shadows. It doesn't hurt you on day 1 or day 100. It waits. Let's talk about vitamin A. Unlike vitamin C, vitamin A is fat soluble. This means your body cannot just pee it out if you take too much. It gets stored in your liver and your fat cells. It is a hoarder. Now, normally, a specific protein carries vitamin A through your blood, delivers it to the cells, and the kidneys help recycle or clear the excess carrier proteins. But here is the breakdown in adults over 60. As kidney function declines, your body loses the ability to filter out that carrier protein effectively. The levels of vitamin A in your blood start to creep up, even if you aren't taking a massive dose. But if you are taking a supplement, it's a flood. High levels of vitamin A are directly toxic to the cellular structure of the kidney, but it goes deeper. Chronic vitamin A toxicity mimics other diseases. It causes bone pain, it causes skin changes, it causes liver stress, and because the liver and kidneys are best friends, they are the dynamic duo of detoxification. When the liver gets stressed by vitamin A overload, the kidneys suffer a sympathy blow. This is called the hepato-renal connection. If you are taking a multivitamin that has 5,000 IUs of preformed vitamin A, usually listed as retinol palmitate, and you are also eating fortified cereals and maybe some liver or dairy, you are swimming in a toxic soup. Your body cannot purge it fast enough. You are creating a state of chronic, low-grade poisoning that creates inflammation. And inflammation is the enemy of the aging kidney. It creates scar tissue. Once a nephron scars, it is gone forever. It does not grow back. You are permanently reducing your lifespan with every high-dose capsule. But the list isn't finished. There is one more common supplement that is often sold to seniors as a heart health miracle or an anti-aging secret. But for your kidneys, it can be the trigger for a catastrophic event. This one is dangerous not because of toxicity, but because of how it changes the physics of your blood. Vitamin E, you see it everywhere, supports heart health. Antioxidant protection. It sounds wonderful. Who doesn't want antioxidants? But here's the jagged pill you need to swallow. High-dose vitamin E, anything over 400 IUs, acts as a blood thinner. It reduces the ability of your platelets to stick together. Now, if you are 65, there is a statistically high chance you are already taking something for your heart. Maybe a baby aspirin, maybe Plavix, maybe a prescription blood thinner. When you combine high-dose vitamin E with these medications, or even just with the natural thinning of blood vessels that comes with age, you are increasing the risk of internal bleeding. How does this hurt the kidneys? The kidneys are incredibly vascular organs. They are giant balls of blood vessels. If you suffer a minor hemorrhagic event, or if your blood becomes too thin to maintain the proper pressure needed for filtration, the kidneys go into shock. This is called hypoperfusion. The kidney needs pressure to push the toxins out. If you thin the blood too much, the pressure drops and the filter stops working. Furthermore, recent meta-analyses, huge studies looking at thousands of people, have shown a disturbing trend. People who take high doses of vitamin E do not live longer. In fact, in some studies, they had a higher risk of all-cause mortality. The antioxidant became a pro-oxidant. It started causing stress instead of relieving it. For an aging kidney that is already fighting to stay alive, this oxidative stress is the final straw. It pushes the cells over the edge into apoptosis, cell death. So, we have a terrifying picture here. Vitamin C turning into stones, vitamin D turning into vascular concrete, vitamin A building up like a toxic hoarder, and vitamin E cutting the pressure lines. It feels like everything is out to get you. It feels like you should just stop taking everything and hide. But that is not the answer either. Deficiencies will kill you just as fast as toxicities. You need these nutrients. The problem is not the vitamin. The problem is the dosage and the delivery system. The problem is that you are treating a 60-year-old body like a 30-year-old body. So, how do we fix this? How do you protect your renal health without starving your body of nutrients? I promised you a solution. I promised you the golden rule that changes everything. And this is where we turn this ship around. First, you must shift your mindset from supplementation to nourishment. Supplements are concentrated chemical isolates. Food is a complex, balanced delivery system. Let's look at vitamin C again. Instead of that dangerous 1,000 milliliter pill, eat a red bell pepper or 2 kiwis. You get about 200 milliliters of vitamin C, which is exactly what your body can absorb, but you get it with fiber, with water, with enzymes. The absorption is slow, steady, and safe. No oxalate spikes, no stones. Your kidneys can handle the slow drip of nutrition. They cannot handle the fire hose of a supplement. For vitamin A, look at the label of your multivitamin right now. Go get the bottle. I'll wait. Okay, look at the vitamin A section. Does it say retinol palmitate or retinol? That is the preformed risky stuff. Or does it say beta-carotene? Beta-carotene is a precursor. Your body converts only what it needs into vitamin A and throws the rest away safely. It is a built-in safety valve. If you must take a multivitamin, ensure the vitamin A is derived from beta-carotene, not retinol. This one switch could save your liver and kidneys years of stress. For vitamin D, never, and I mean never, take high doses blindly. You simply cannot guess your vitamin D level. You might be at 20, you might be at 80. If you are at 80 and you take 5,000 IUs, you are walking into the danger zone. The only way to be safe is the test don't guess protocol. Ask your doctor for a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. If you are low, take the supplement to get to the normal range and then stop or reduce to a maintenance dose. And always, always ask your doctor about vitamin K2 to ensure that calcium goes to the bones, not the arteries. And for vitamin E, ditch the pill completely. A handful of almonds or sunflower seeds gives you the most potent, bioavailable vitamin E on the planet without the stroke risk. Your body knows how to process almonds. It gets confused by a gelatin capsule containing 500 times the amount found in nature. Here's the bottom line: the philosophy you need to adopt to survive and thrive past 60. Your kidneys are a non-renewable resource. You do not get new ones. Every time you swallow a pill, ask yourself, is this helping my body? Or am I just giving my kidneys a heavy backpack to carry while they run a marathon? Most of the time, the marketing is lying to you. They sell you fear, so you buy the pill. But real health isn't in a plastic bottle. It is in the wisdom of knowing when enough is enough. Now, there is another layer to this. We talked about vitamins, but there are minerals, specifically electrolytes, that are even more immediate in their danger to kidney patients. Things hidden in healthy salt substitutes that can stop a heart in minutes, but that is a story for another day. I want you to do one thing right now. Go to your cabinet, check your labels. If you see those massive 1000% daily value numbers, think about your filters. Think about the traffic jam. Save your kidneys, and they will save you. If you found this breakdown helpful, if it opened your eyes to the hidden chemistry of your own body, then you need to be part of this community. We don't just give health tips, we decode the manual to your own biology. Subscribe so you don't miss the next truth bomb, and share this with someone you love who is popping pills blindly, thinking they are doing the right thing. You might just save their life today. Stay wise, stay healthy, and protect your filters.